In the unresolved problem segment tonight, the Senate voted 68 to 32 yesterday to pass immigration reform, which would allow most illegals the chance to become U.S. citizens. The legislation now heads to the House, where it will be met with intense opposition.
The House is not going to take up and vote on whatever the Senate passes. We're going to do our own bill through regular order, and it'll be legislation that reflects the will of our majority and the will of the American people. And for any legislation, including a conference report, to pass the House, it's going to have to be a bill that has the support of a majority of our members.
With us now, Alfonso Aguilar, who is the Executive Director of the Latino Partnership for Conservative Principles. Alfonso, good to see you. It's going to be a tough road, it looks like, in the House of Representatives for this bill, but we'll see. I mean, anything can happen. First question to you is, why is this bill, this particular bill, good for low-skilled and poor Americans who are struggling today, struggling to make ends meet, struggling to make a living wage, struggling to keep their family together under really severe economic pressures?
Well, I think it doesn't threaten them at all. I think, if anything, we need more work visas. The guest worker program created by the Senate immigration bill is actually extremely small. One of the reasons Rand Paul voted against the immigration bill is because it doesn't create a workable market-based guest worker program. If American companies cannot find American workers, they should be able to bring in the foreign workers that they need. Government should not tell them.
So with 7.6% unemployment today, you contend that businesses are just finding a complete labor shortage in major sectors of our economy.
In some industries, absolutely.
Well, Tom Sowell, famed economist, conservative, unquestioned his conservative principles, said that the real free market would require businesses to pay higher wages. But a lot of the people who give to a lot of these groups that support amnesty or immigration reform, a lot of them are funded by these big business interests who have a vested interest in keeping wages low. That adversely affects Latinos in this country, African Americans, and the working poor.
But it's actually the current system that it's unfair to American low-skilled workers, because right now American companies can hire undocumented workers at wages that are below minimum or prevailing wage. So if you actually legalize those workers, they're going to be offered minimum wage or prevailing wage. So they're not going to have an unfair advantage over low-skilled workers.
They're going to be competing across every job sector. Well, I mean, when you say 43 million, I mean, Alfonso, you're smart. This is not rocket science. 43 million new people working here in this country. I don't blame those people for wanting to work here at all. I don't blame them at all. I blame the politicians who say we have to do this for business, we have to do this for the Latino vote. How about the American people, not the rich, because they're not going to be affected. They're going to get their yards clean and their houses taken care of and their kids taken care of. This is going to hurt the people who work really hard. And for Republicans to stand with big business against the working people, that's a death knell for the Republican Party, a death knell.
But I think that's a position that goes against the free market and conservative principles that are supported.
No. A real free market would have no border, Alfonso.
Look,
no border.
First of all, you're assuming that they're taking jobs away from Americans, and they are not.
Well, the callers to my radio show absolutely 100% unequivocally say it's happening across the board.
But sadly,
now.
They're wrong. In fact, they're taking jobs Americans don't want.
Because Americans are what, lazy?
Or for which there are no Americans of working age. This is a population issue. Our population is growing below the replacement rate.
Oh, you're doing the Jeb Bush, we're not having babies thing?
Well, that's part of it, yes.
Well, Latinos are starting to contracept more and starting to get into the American culture of abortion more as well,
We need healthy population growth. But the truth is that we need low-skilled workers, and those workers create jobs for Americans.
The low-skilled people in this country are the ones struggling the most now. They're going to struggle less with more competition.
If we don't have those foreign workers, we won't have that workforce that we need, and we will have less jobs for Americans.
Well, we shall see, but it has to get through the House of Representatives, and
they can fix it.
They can fix it. Now they have the Obamacare. You know, on Obamacare, they can hire foreign workers.
They can listen to Rand Paul, a real free market conservative.
Obamacare penalty will not have to be paid for foreign workers. Do you know that?
Nothing has to do with Obamacare. Obamacare is not happy about the Senate bill because of the guest worker plan.
Well, employers will be incentivized to hire foreign workers, Alfonso, because they don't have the Obamacare penalty.
That is the argument of the unions.
No, that's the Weekly Standards argument right now. I appreciate it. Mr.